Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone, and the Thunder just again dominate the Minnesota Timberwolves to go up 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals, 2 games away from being back in the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. I'm feeling fantastic. As a Thunder fan, I finally got to see Shai raise the MVP trophy we've known for so long at this point. I don't know why it took this long for him to actually get the award, that he was going to win it. He physically received it on the court from Adam Silver. He rose the trophy. He had a great speech yesterday. It was awesome. And then I got to see the Thunder again win by double digits. Again, going up 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals on the Wolves, 118-103. This was a closer game than last one where the Thunder won by 26. The Wolves fought back pretty hard in the fourth quarter. They made this one kind of interesting. Alexander Walker really got it going. Naz Reid got it going on the inside. He cannot get it going from three at all. Has still yet to hit when he's 0 of 12 in this series. Anthony Edwards had some buckets, and they brought it back to within 10, and it's like, okay, after the insanity of yesterday's Knicks-Pacers game 1, could we again see some insanity here? But the answer was no. The Thunder shut the door pretty firmly with Shai and Chet and Dub each making plays, and the big three, those three guys, just had their best combined playoff game of their careers. We have not seen the big three operate at this level ever before, and that's part of the reason why the Thunder are just looking so dominant right now. Those three guys are clicking in a way they never have, and of course it starts at the top with Shai, who might have just had the best playoff game of his career. It's certainly in that conversation. 38 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals on 12 of 21 shooting. There was really no answer for Shai at any point in this game. Jaden McDaniels, great defender, but Shai is doing a great job of getting by him. You've got Donte Divincenzo, who's routinely a good defender, but he just doesn't have nearly the size to keep up with Shai, so he's hitting turnaround jumpers over him, or he's hitting a step back midi over Jaden McDaniels, or over the outstretched arms of Rudy Gobert, or step back 3 over Jaden McDaniels right before halftime, and finishing on the interior, and of course getting to the free throw line because the Wolves can't stop hitting him. Shai was just unbelievable in this game. He's been this entire run. He's now the first Thunder player ever to have 5 straight playoff games of 30 plus points. On the night where he raised the MVP trophy, he shows why he was extremely worthy of winning this award, why he was the best choice to win the most valuable player award. Shai was incredible, but this game doesn't get where it is without the play of the other two guys of the big three. Jalen Williams has been subjected to so much vitriol over the course of this run because he's had some pretty low lows on the offensive end. Now, for him, the defense is always there, and I'm so happy he got rewarded with all defensive second team. He was highly deserving. I think he was even deserving of being conversation for first team, but second team is more than enough. Dub has been one of the league's best defenders, one of the league's most versatile defenders this entire season. He racks up steals, he blocks shots, he closes out extremely well, he alters shots, he can guard basically any single position with his length. Dub is a special player on that defensive end, so he always has value, but the offense has really started to click more and more. And really since game 7, I've loved his approach. It felt like in game 7 against the Nuggets, coming off game 6 where he was not good at all, he kind of shifted his mindset a little bit. He's getting to his spots in the mid-range. He's still hitting those bump middies, which he's really, really good at, but he's also utilizing his strength more. He's getting downhill. He's finishing at the rim. He's fighting through contact. Dub is ridiculously strong, and he's got the wingspan of like a pterodactyl. He should be getting to the interior and finishing through contact and playing like that, or getting to that spot in the mid-range, a little bit lower than he was getting at the points in the overall Nuggets series, like he did in game 7, like he did in game 1, and not as many of those shots fell. But tonight was probably the most complete game, or at least one of them, that Dub has ever played in the playoffs. Game, I think it was 3 against the Denver Nuggets. Dub had an amazing game. He had a 30-piece, but he's been unbelievable. The defensive prowess that he shows, the offensive punch when he gets it going, when he and Shai are both on, there's really not much you can do whatsoever against this Thunder team, because one of them is always on the court, and then when both of them are playing like this, this Thunder team is practically unbeatable in a single game, never mind in a 7-game series. And he deserves way more praise than I'm seeing on the timeline, because people are so quick to jump on him and say, oh, Dub was terrible. Dub's not the second option. The Thunder can't win with Jalen Williams as their second guy. And I said before the playoffs, he was going to have a big playoff run. He was going to prove a lot of people wrong, and he's continuing to do that. He's settling in. He's a much better version of him than we've ever seen before. And I'm not seeing enough praise for all the hate that Jaden has gotten throughout this run, so I'd love to go ahead and see a little bit more of that. And then Chet Holmgren, who has really started to slow it down, it feels like. It feels like at times he's still trying to get his footing back under him after he had to rehab from a major hip surgery midway through the season, and it's led to him being not quite as effective. I don't think as quick as we saw him last year all throughout the regular season, and it waned a little bit in the playoffs with some of the fatigue that built up. But we're starting to see Chet get more and more comfortable, and he's slowing the game down. He's playing at his own pace. Sometimes he gets a little bit sped up, and he'll end up dribbling into pressure and turning the ball over and making mistakes. That's not happening. I mean, the three-point shot has still been a struggle. He shot 1 of 6 in this game. The Thunder as a whole shot 9 of 33, and they still won this one by double digits. That's the power of this defense and how good they were in the paint. The Wolves could do anything to stop them on the interior, and I'll talk about that. But Chet, he's just got more foot speed than most bigs, and he's playing a lot more single big 5 now, which I think is great for him. Those single big lineups have been a lot more effective throughout the playoffs than the double big lineups. The double bigs have their uses with Chet and Hartenstein out there, especially against the Nuggets. We had to run it a lot, but here against the Timberwolves, there's not really guys with size that are going to punish you, nowhere near the level of a Nikola Jokic. So Chet's being able to play more of that 5, and it's opening up his game more. He has done a great job of attacking Gobert off the dribble, getting downhill, and either finding a shooter or hitting like a little turnaround midi over him. He is there for shots in the dunker spot. He's getting to the middle of the zone and hitting a little push shot to break it up or a mid-range jumper. Chet has just been so effective on both ends. That fourth quarter in game 1, maybe the best quarter he's ever played in his playoff career. And tonight was an unbelievable game, finishing with 22 points, 4 boards, 2 assists. Didn't get a block, which feels crazy. I swore he got one, but altered a ton of shots. This big 3 is incredible. Like, they're extremely, extremely talented. And when these guys are all playing at this level, when you are getting 86 combined points from Chet, Shai, and J-Dub, you're not going to beat the Thunder. You're just not. You see the vision with these guys. 3 players who complement each other extremely well. You've got a guard, you've got a wing, you've got a big who can all shoot, who can put the ball on the floor, who can create for themselves, and others can defend. There's really not a lot of weaknesses in this big threes game. I mean, the Thunder defense as a whole surrounding them is like the shell of the team. That's their identity. But when these 3 players are playing at this level, the offensive floor raises so much for the Thunder. And that's really the only hope you ever have against OKC, is that you're never going to score that many points. This defense is too suffocating for you to ever really have a pop-off offensive game unless you just shoot, 1,000,000% from 3 and then you've got a shot. But the key is to try and slow them down on the offensive end. And when you have a team that doesn't turn the ball over, 6 total turnovers for the Thunder tonight to Minnesota's 14. If that's the result, you're not going to beat the Thunder. If you can't slow down at least 1, probably at least 2 of Shai, Chet, and Jalen Williams, it's really hard to beat this team. The margin of error is so large for the Thunder because of the talent pool, because of the elevation of Shai on that offensive end. What I don't think people give Shai enough credit for is that this team is so heavily tilted towards defense. This is a very defensive heavy roster, but because Shai is just one of the greatest scorers of all time, the team survives offensively. So even when the threes aren't falling, Shai's able to elevate, and then you get play like this from Jalen Williams and Chet. If they're playing like this, if this big 3 plays at this level, no one is beating the Thunder. They're going to win the NBA championship. There's just no way anybody beats this team 4 times out of 7 with this big 3 playing this way. Maybe the Wolves can find a way to slow them down for the rest of the series, or the Pacers or the Knicks can, but at this moment, they are clicking, firing on all cylinders, being the big 3 that they're supposed to be. These are the 3 guys that are going to lead the Thunder forward to hopefully a ring this year, and maybe another one next year, and another one. Like, the Thunder have a chance to be dynastic. This is the best setup that a team has had in a long time in this position. Casey Wallace really good in this game too. Defensively, he was awesome. Lu Dort, same thing. Those 2 guys, best 2-man lineup that the Thunder had tonight. Caruso, awesome as well. Ends up fouling out to the people that are complaining that Caruso doesn't get called for fouls. He got called for 6 of them and had to sit on the bench. And it must be so devastating for opposing teams when Alex Caruso fouls out and like, oh, here comes Casey Wallace. Like, that's your alternative, is that you have to then play against Case and Wallace. It's never good. But yeah, the Thunder, huge statement win, up 2-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves, looking fantastic in this series. They have thoroughly controlled both games. I think the Wolves are going to need to take it to another level to do that, and I'm just not sure if they can against the Thunder team. I think they're just out-talented, and again, the margin of error is so huge for the Thunder with that defense, with the level of Shai, whereas for the Timberwolves, like, the offense, it's an issue for this Wolves team. Like, that was kind of a problem all season. They were top 10, but there were some lulls, and especially when you're going up against a really good defense like this for a full series, those are going to be exposed. Anthony Edwards, I thought was great tonight. 32 points, 9 boards rather, 6 assists, 12 of 26 shooting. He was below 50% and only 1 of 9 from 3. And I'm seeing a lot of people, get on Anthony Edwards saying that he wasn't actually that good. And I know he went a little bit passive and didn't do a lot in the third quarter, and that's kind of when they needed him, when the Thunder really started to push this one away and build up that lead. But overall, Ant was by far the best player on the court tonight for the Timberwolves. It wasn't even close. He emptied the clip like he said he was going to, and I felt like that was a good thing. They ran a lot more off-ball actions for him to get him going downhill and weren't, forcing him to create off the dribble against this ridiculous crop of Thunder on-ball defenders. And I felt like that was a good wrinkle that they threw in. The problem was, didn't get a lot of support. Now, Jay McDaniels was awesome, 22 points, 4 of 8 shooting from 3, 8 of 15. Not a good Randle game. 6 points, 4 turnovers, 2 of 11 shooting, and got benched. He didn't play a single minute believe, in the fourth quarter. Let me go ahead and double check that, but I'm pretty certain. Yeah, didn't play a single minute in the fourth quarter. Third quarter, played 10 minutes, got benched, never came back in the basketball game. This is just not a great matchup for Julius Randle. I know he's got the size, and people think, oh, he can bully the Thunder smaller defenders, but this is a team that, because of the handsiness, because they play a lot bigger than they are, it's not really going to work to just play Julius Randle bully ball over and over again. If that's your offensive strategy, you are going to lose to the Thunder. You just don't have any chance if you're running Julius Randle bully ball over and over again. He's going to turn the ball over. There's going to be wild shots. It felt like this game was a lot more of a Knicks Julius Randle game than what we've seen from him so far in the Timberwolves throughout this playoff run. He needs to be a lot better for them to have any chance of fighting back in this series. This was just not his game, and I think because of the way the Thunder can expose a lot of his weaknesses, it's just a hard series for him to be consistently reliable, but they're going to need him to find a way. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was really good tonight. He finished with 17 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. Was the big reason, the catalyst for why they fought back in the fourth quarter. Probably need a little bit more of him going forward in the next game, or a lot more of this play. Donte Divincenzo, Naz Reid continue to be unable to get it going. Like I said, Naz Reid 0-5 from 3 for 10 points. Had a couple of turnovers, 3 of 8 shooting overall. Donte Divincenzo, 8 points, 3 of 8 shooting. Mike Conley couldn't really shoot, but he was a plus 14. I wouldn't be surprised if they got more Mike Conley minutes. I think they need more Mike Conley. His defense it's leaving a lot to be desired, and he's a guy that the Thunder can pick on. Although I feel like he's held his own a little bit better than I expected. It's still not been great. But offensively, they really need Mike Conley. They need him to set up the offense. They need his presence out there kind of connecting everything. It just feels like it falls apart. And that's kind of the big thing that I feel like is being exposed with Minnesota right now in this series is there's not a lot of playmaking. It's not a great playmaking team. I think you need to get a better lead guard going forward. Like, that should be one of the big things the Wolves look for in the offseason. Because, again, going up against this Thunder team, you need great playmaking. You need someone to go ahead and set everything up and pick apart the defense. It's part of why the Nuggets push the Thunder to 7 is because you've got one of the best playmakers ever, Nikola Jokic, and a team that's really good at communicating and has all this chemistry together. With the Wolves, I mean, it also shows when they played zone. And zone defense has been something that's given the Thunder some problems throughout this era that they're in right now. But the Wolves, they didn't run a lot of zone in the regular season. This is not a team that's cohesive and has continuously learned how to play zone. In this one, they ran it and it disrupted the Thunder for like a possession, and then Caruso gets like 2 wide open mid-range jumpers, and Ihart gets a push shot, and they're just getting the ball to the middle, and it's legitimately wide open. Like, obviously the middle of a zone is where you're supposed to exploit, but the Wolves were doing nothing to even slightly close that off when someone got into that position. They were just letting anybody walk there and knock down a shot. The Wolves didn't run a lot of zone at all in the regular season. The only team they actually ran it against in any significant margin was the Oklahoma City Thunder, and like that one game where they came back in a big way, it was successful. But for the most part, this is not a team that has experience doing that. And I don't think they've been really tested in a big way throughout the playoffs, the way that the Thunder were against the Nuggets. And you're kind of seeing that now. You're seeing how that series made the Thunder grow up. And with the Wolves, they beat the Lakers. Like, that was a very big statement series for them. But then going up against the Warriors, Steph Curry's gone, and they were able to just run through them. And there's no real challenge there. They've got a challenge now. They're down 2-0. They're not completely out of this series, although it's dire straits. Obviously, you cannot afford to lose game 3 and go down 3-0. I don't think they can afford to lose either game in Minnesota. They've got to come back to OKC tied 2-2. They're going to have to take it to another level if they want to do that. They need a lot better from Julius Randle. They need more of this play, and even more, I would say, from Anthony Edwards on both ends. They need the shooters to start knocking down shots. They need to be a bit better defensively because they're letting the Thunder guys really start to get rolling. There was just a lot to ask for from this Wolves team to figure this series out, but they'll be at home. Maybe the energy will be different, and they'll come out in game 3. We'll have to wait and see, but for the moment, the Thunder making a statement. This big 3 is clicking. The defense is historic. Thunder on the verge of the NBA Finals. 2 games away. As a Thunder fan, I'm feeling fantastic. But yeah, those are my thoughts on game 2 in the series so far. Let me know down below in the comments if you think the Wolves can come back. Who do you have winning game 3? And right now, if you had to predict the winner of this series and in how many games, who would it be and what is that number? I appreciate you watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And yeah, appreciate you watching. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.